So this topic is related with parallel vectors. When two vectors are parallel, their main letters should be same, like u plus v is there, but the numbers outside can be different. What these numbers tell you, that the magnitudes are not equal, although the vectors are parallel. So if both are u plus v, they are parallel vectors. You have to now copy this.
Okay.
You have to copy, you have to update this diagram.
Okay.
Make a comparison between them. No need to copy this. This is the same concept with another example. Both are p plus q. Both are p plus q.
Yes.
So they are parallel vectors. Now
Yeah.
give a heading ratio method. Vectors are for capital letters. Vectors are shown by an arrow above it. For small letters, you have to underline. Examiner will be typing it dark, bold, but you're not supposed to do that in the exam. Now, ratio is a very simple concept. Ratio is everywhere. O-level maths is ratio driven. You can see the two vectors are in a ratio 2:3. So if you want to compare it with another vector, you can add the ratios or even subtract the ratios. You have to copy this example.
Okay. Okay.
Now, this is how we tackle the ratio, and we can make a ratio and write the vectors in ratio form. AB ratio BC is 2:3. So AB upon BC is 2/3. Ratio means fraction. So you can make AB the subject with the ratio of BC. You have to copy this example.
Okay. Okay.
Now I give you a simple question for practice. You have to copy the question and solve for me.
So QR will be 3.
Look at the ratio. PQ upon QR is 2 upon 3. And if you want to make subject QR, you will it to 3 upon 2 P. Look at that PQ is equal to small p. This letter game is there in projectile, sorry, in vector. Vector is a formal topic. So letters are always there.
Okay.
So share the working.
All right. Okay.
I put my second example here to manage the ratio example. You have to copy this.
Uh, okay.
So can you solve for me the PR?
PR will be will it be 5 over 3?
Do you remember this formula, basic O-level class 9th formula, ratio upon sum of ratio into total?
Yeah.
Good. It's better to copy it again as a part of notes.
Okay.
Now see the working.
Okay. I want to.
See how I'm getting 5.
Yeah, because the total is 5. So it is P to R.
Yes.
Okay.
Now we are putting our next title concept, collinear. Collinear is a terminology used in our vector chapter. The collinear word means the vectors, the points which are on a same straight line. So give a heading collinear, and the meaning of the word collinear is on a same straight line. On the same straight line.
Yes.
So look at the vectors case. AB is parallel to AC. AB is parallel to AC. This is a very tricky concept to understand, that how two vectors are parallel with one letter common. Otherwise, common vectors, common letters will always join. So if you see a case like that, AB is parallel to AC, but A is a common point. A is a common point. So it means they are collinear. Collinear means on a straight line. So now you have
Yeah.
to copy this.
Okay. Okay.
Now give the heading formula for a column vector.
Okay.
This is the formula. When 2 points are given, you can use this formula to find the column vector.
Okay.
I have 2 points, 2, 1, and 5, 7. You have to find the column vector, copy this screen.
Okay.
Can you solve for me?
Okay, yes. Will it be okay, yeah. I got the same answer. 3/6.
3, 6.
Yes.
Locating a missing point. 2, 3 is the point P. PQ is 5, 7, and Q is the question mark. A vector is given. 1 point is given, and second point is unknown. You have to copy this screen.
Okay. Okay.
How we solve this question, how we solve this math topic, that we suppose, let's suppose the vector, the point we are looking for, let's suppose the point is x comma y. We suppose the point as x comma y, and then we can build a vector. For example, PQ, the formula is x2 minus x1 and y2 minus, this formula we have just done. So this is the formula to do, and we have the other point in our hand. So I put the other point, x minus 2, y minus 3. This is a method to build a vector from the points. Remember, we do not know the coordinates of Q. Now, we know the vector is 5, 7. So we equate the vector and we solve it to get the coordinates of the unknown point. This is the method how we can find the missing point. If we know the vector, if we know a point, and we want to find the second point. So you have to copy this one here.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so now we put our next concept. The next concept says that when two vectors are perpendicular, this is something we did in our coordinate geometry also. When two vectors are perpendicular, the product of their gradients is -1. This rule is originally coming from coordinate geometry. M1 cross M2 is equal to -1. So if two vectors are perpendicular and you multiply their gradients, the answer should be -1. Remember, a vector can be converted to gradient like this. A vector can be converted into gradient by just flipping.
Yes.
By just flipping the vector. You have to copy this screen.
Okay. Okay.
Position vector. Look at this screen. Concept of position vector. If a vector starts from the origin, it is called position vector. What is the position vector? If a vector starts from origin, it is called position vector. You have to copy this screen.
Okay. Okay.
A vector starting from origin. For example, I draw this vector that is 2, 4, as 0, 0 is a formality, but you have to show it. But you can see 0, 0 will not change the numbers. So OP will be 2, 4. Remember 2, 4. Look at this 2, 4 is a point. This is not a point. It is now writing in this format means it is a vector. So this is a very technical difference. 2, 4 is a point. 2, 4 is a point, and 2, 4 matrix is actually a column vector. You have to copy this example.
Okay. Okay.
Now, a very interesting concept is there to remember. OP is equal to P because O is origin, 0, 0 is a formality. But when you write it in this format, look at this format. This format means it is a vector. And when you write this format, it means it is not a vector, it is a point. So difference is there, even though numbers are same, but the conceptual difference is there. So you have to copy this screen.
Okay. Okay.
We have just done this topic, locating a missing point. When you want to locate a missing point, you have a point, you have a vector, and you want to find Q. Now, after discussing the position vector, we have another way of doing the same thing. Position vector is important in our maths here because this letter O is very frequently coming with the vectors. So you have to copy this whole screen as a second method.
Okay. Okay.
Now, how this second method works, we suppose the letter is, the point is 2, 3. Look at this carefully. If the letter is 2, 3, it will mean OP will be 2, 3. This is how position vector works. So we have OP. Then we make our head to tail formula OP plus PQ is equal to OQ. This is the most important skill of this important chapter. OP plus PQ is equal to OQ. And when you go through it, you can rearrange it to find OQ. This is a genuine method because it is using head to tail approach. So copy this solution.
Okay. Okay.
OP plus PQ is equal to OQ. This is head to tail approach. Now, once you get OQ, remember again, look at this tricky step that OQ is a vector. I can write it with Q only. So it will convert into a point. A vector is not a point. But if the first letter is O, then a vector can be equivalent to a point.
Okay.
You have to copy this.
Yes. Okay.
Ratio of areas of two figures can be found directly if the two figures are similar, like both are triangle. This is something not related to vectors only. This is a concept which comes in mensuration. This is a concept which comes in trigonometry also. So it's the concept across 2-3 chapters. Now you have to copy this heading. This is screen.
Okay. Okay.
Now, for example, I want to find the ratio of triangle ABC area upon triangle PQR area. To copy this.
Oh. Okay.
Now starting this. There are three methods. One is called common base. Second method is called common height. And the third method is called similar figure. There are three methods to develop this. You have to copy this.
Okay. Okay.
I'm putting the first method, rule number 1. Look at the two triangles on your right hand. These are the two triangles. You can notice them that they have a common base. They both have a base AB. Now you come on the left hand side. When you come on the left hand side, you will develop the ratio area upon area. AB is the common base. As AB is the common base, so when you develop the ratio, the bases will the bases will cancel each other and you will be left with only the heights. So if the two triangles have a common base, the ratio of areas is the ratio of heights. Remember, in the triangle, it's necessary that base and height are mutually perpendicular. It is necessary that base and height are always perpendicular. Now, this tricky concept is here. You have to copy this screen. I'm just coming, copy this screen.
Okay.
Let me know once you have copied it.
Oh, yes, I'm done.
Good. So this property is used. This property is used that area and height and base should be perpendicular. Height and base should always be perpendicular. Base and height in our trigonometry, in our mensuration, and in our vectors should always be perpendicular. Now look at rule number 2. Common height. Now there are two triangles. You can look at the triangles and you can notice that the two triangles have a common height. So when you put them in the ratio, half into base into height upon half into base into height, you can notice that height is the same. So AB upon PC is the ratio of the bases. You have to copy this.
Okay. Okay.
Similar figures. Similar figure is another famous topic in our O-level maths, the fundamental maths, which is called basic maths, the unit number 1. It is a concept when two figures are not equal in size, but their dimensions are in the same ratio. Just like when you zoom a figure on a machine, a computer, or you change the dimensions in the same ratio, the figure gets bigger or smaller, but ratio-wise remain the same. When two figures are similar, the first approach is that the angles between them should be the same. You have to copy this screen.
Okay. Okay.
Now, approach 2. This is more common in paper. The ratios of the corresponding sides are equal. When two figures are similar, they will carry the same ratio. Same ratio means they will be considered to be in the perfect alignment with the original figure. So when you are doing a ratio, you are doing a similar figure test, you can always get it by comparing the ratio. So you can look on the two diagrams. They are looking similar. So we will test the ratio AB upon PQ and AC upon PR. But in the paper, it would be necessary to test all the sides. Sometimes one pair is matching, but other pairs are not. So all the pairs, like there are three sides in ABC and there are three sides in PQR. So three pairs are formed. All the three pairs should be equal in ratio. You have to copy this.
Okay. Okay.
So when you apply this method on similar figure, then how vectors are tackled when similar figures are there. If two figures are similar, their vectors can be resolved by this formula A1 upon A2 is equal to L1 upon L2 whole square, ratio of areas. Ratio of areas is the square of the two sides. So you have to copy rule number 3.
Okay.
So we develop the ratio, and now different sides can be tested. Only parallel vectors can be placed in a ratio. This is a topic we started the class today. When we started class today, we discussed it that ratio is possible only in parallel vector. But this is such an important concept. You can't compare vectors, all vectors in a ratio. Only parallel vectors can be compared. So you have to copy this screen.
Okay. Okay.
Now we are putting the title subtraction of vectors.
Okay.
When vectors are added, they are joined head to tail. Then how we tackle subtraction of vector? The rule is there, when you want to subtract two vectors, you can still put plus in between, but you can put the second vector as negative. Negative means flip the vector. In vector chapter, negative means flip the vector. For example, these are the two vectors, black and red. If I join them head to tail, they are added. But if I join one of them after flipping, then it is a subtraction of two vectors. This is a grid level question. Such questions comes on a grid. You have to now copy this screen.
Okay. Okay.
When two vectors are joined head to tail, they are being added. So copy this example.
All right.
Look at the first approach.
Yeah.
P plus Q. You can look here. The vectors are added head to tail. Is it right? Vectors are added head to tail.
Yes.
Good. So copy this.
Okay. Okay.
And now look at this approach. I have flipped the second vector. When I flip the second vector, its direction changes.
Yes.
Now copy this.
Okay. Okay.
So that is the end of this big topic. We have finished that, and we have done some basic mathematics work. And when you are solving a vector question, the most important skill is the vector addition. Now, vector addition is like the equations we put them for addition. This is called head to tail. Head to tail is something which is the main topic in this chapter. And I think it is 7.1 in your book. I have noticed that this new edition book is good in classification, but there is some issue. Some topics are having less questions. I don't know the paper cost is there or whatever it is, but some topics are having very limited questions, and that is not good when you are practicing. So I have given you the digital books also. So when you get into this problem, so do not leave it like that. So suppose there are less questions in vectors I'm looking at. So you can use those digital books. Okay. Now give the
Yes.
head in the notes section, head to tail rule, and copy this screen.
Okay. Okay.
Now, the practice is needed to make up these equations. I'm giving you some letters here, and you first copy this screen.
Alright.
PQ, PQ, PR, QR, QS.
Okay. Okay.
Now, you have to try to join them as head to tail. I'm joining these two vectors, PQ and QR. So if I join them, PQ plus QR, PQ, look at this skill, PQ plus QR is equal to PR. How I decide what to join and what will be the answer? The vector has a letter game, PQ. So it should be Q again, and the first letter and the last will give you PR. So this is how we join them. You have to copy this example.
Okay. Okay.
Now try to join some of them. Number 2.
Okay.
Look at the example. OM plus MN is equal to
ON.
ON.
Yes.
So this is called head to tail, and you have to look for the letters, and we can do past papers of this chapter in the next class, inshallah. So we'll stop here and we will do it inshallah in our next class. Allah Hafiz.